Revealed, the incredible night I discovered my fiancé hidden live cheating. What happened next could change everything. Jake had always believed that love conquered all. He worked tirelessly under the hood of cars, fixing everything from fenders to engines, all while daydreaming about marrying Emma. Their small Midwestern town buzzed with excitement as summer ushered in the annual fair, a celebration that drew families together beneath string lights and laughter. This was where the journey began. Underneath the Ferris wheel, he'd planned the perfect proposal, a moment they would both cherish forever, but as the fair approached, everything took an unexpected turn. One late afternoon, Jake was in the garage when a close friend dropped a bombshell. He spotted Emma laughing a little too intimately with another man. "Just thought you should know, buddy," he said, shrugging it off. The words echoed in Jake's mind, stirring up a whirlwind of doubt. With each passing second, the air thickened with tension. On that fateful night, armed with a hidden camera meant to capture the moment he proposed, Jake navigated the fairgrounds, his heart pounding like the bass from a distant ride. The joyous atmosphere became a haze, the jubilant screams of children, the scent of popcorn and cotton candy turned into a cruel reminder of what he thought he was losing. He spotted Emma, her smile radiant, shimmering beneath the lights, so close to that other man his heart raced. With a shaky breath, Jake stepped forward, the camera rolling. A crowd gathered, drawn in by the tension that sparked between them. "Emma! What is going on here?" The festive sounds dulled, turning into a haunting echo as whispers circled around them. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Everything worth fighting for hung in the balance, and he felt as if the ground was crumbling beneath him. "Jake, wait!" Emma's eyes widened, surprised yet defiant, but the pain twisting in Jake's chest was unbearable. "You don't understand." The crowd hushed, and Jake could practically hear their collective breath hitching. Whispers of "what is he doing?" buzzed in the background, punctuating the moment with judgment. It was a stage of hurt and betrayal, and everyone was watching, riveted by the melodrama of young love gone wrong. Before Jake could react further, Emma's voice trembled as she revealed an unexpected truth: "I was planning to propose to you tonight." Her words shattered through the tension, cutting deeper than any betrayal he thought he'd uncovered. The weight of misunderstanding crashed down. "Wait, what?" Jake stammered, emotions swirling violently as the pain in his chest started to shift toward confusion and then to hope. Was it possible his heart could mend from this? "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. For a moment, the world around them faded. The Ferris wheel spun, but all Jake could focus on was Emma, the heart he loved. Love challenges us, tests us, but could it also heal? As the crowd stood breathless, Jake faced a crossroads. Should he let fear and doubt win, or open his heart to the woman he loved? As they stood before friends and family, Jake's heart raced with the weight of unspoken words, questions swirling in the air thick with anticipation. Could true love endure the trials of pain? Would he choose to bridge the gap created by misunderstanding, or let this night slip into a bittersweet memory? The fair felt transformed, a backdrop to a deeper emotional journey yet to unfold. Jake's mind raced as he processed Emma's words. Her surprise proposal, once a joyful secret, now lay exposed before a crowd that held its breath, waiting for the next act of this unexpected drama. He could see the worry etched on her face, the hope flickering behind her eyes, fighting for existence against the shadows of doubt. "Emma," he began, his voice thick with unshed emotions. "You really mean that?" The crowd's murmurs faded into the periphery as he laced his fingers into the strands of hope she offered, struggling to find clarity amidst the tumult. "Yes. I was going to ask you at the very spot where we first kissed, under the Ferris wheel. Can't you see?" She stepped closer, her eyes pleading. "Believe me, Jake. I love you." The crowd, momentarily captivated, seemed to melt away. For the first time since the revelation, Jake felt a spark of what had brought them together, the shared laughter, late-night conversations, the dreams they had built, one thought at a time. But his heart wavered. Could he brush aside the doubt that had crept in? A member of the crowd piped up, "Are you sure, Emma?" "I mean," the other guy shut up. Jake snapped, a sudden surge of anger flaring up. He was furious at the accusation, at the confusion, at everything threatening the love he thought was unbreakable. He turned back to Emma, taking in her face, painted with worry and longing. "Can we just talk? Alone?" The expectation glimmered in her eyes, but as the crowd began to close in tighter, Jake felt suffocated. He grabbed Emma's hand, and gently led her away from the scrutinizing eyes. An unsteady breath escaped him as they moved behind the Ferris wheel, into a quiet corner, shielded from the prying glances. "What were you doing with him?" he asked, pain lacing through his throat. You looked so happy." "Because I was happy, Jake. But you need to understand. Nathan was just being kind. He was helping me pick out your ring. I can't believe you'd think the worst of me." Her voice wavered, the frustration and fear mingling in the air around them. Jake took a moment, letting her words sink in, feeling the pressure of misunderstanding starting to lift. The deeper hurt was the mistrust he had let creep in, spiraling out of control. "I'm so sorry," he breathed, guilt tightening around his chest. "I just didn't know what to think. I panicked." Tears pooled in Emma's eyes, but she quickly blinked them away. "You have to know I would never cheat on you. You're my everything, Jake." For a moment, silence enveloped them, the hum of the fair muted like a distant memory. The weight of the world began to shift as Jake processed her earnestness, the love they shared reigniting the tiny flicker of hope in his heart. "Then how about we let tonight be about us? No more misunderstandings." His voice softened, filled with a mix of resolve and vulnerability. Emma nodded, a slow smile breaking through her tear-streaked cheeks. "You're right. We can't let others ruin what we have." Just as he stepped closer, ready to bridge the gap of doubt with a promise, a loud cheer erupted from the fair. Fireworks lit up the night sky, bursting in vibrant colors while the crowd erupted in joyous shouts. For a moment, the chaos outside melted away, and it was just them two souls trimming the threads of misunderstanding. Then Jake's phone buzzed in his pocket, pulling him back into reality. He hesitated, glancing at the screen. It was a message from his friend, the one who first delivered the rumor. Before he could think too much, he swiped to read it. "Dude, you need to see this. I can't believe she was even with him." Jake's gut twisted, dread pooling like ice in his veins. Could there be more to the story? "Jake?" Emma's voice broke through. "What is it?" He glanced at her, the hope mingling with fear once again. What if the truth was more complicated than love could mend? "Nothing. Just let us go back, we need to talk." The weight of the night settled heavier than before, and as they stepped toward the noise of the fair, Jake wondered if the past would truly stay buried or if the night had more secrets lurking in the shadows. Jake's heart raced as they made their way back to the fair. The brightly colored lights twinkled all around them, but the joy of the moment was dimmed by the chilly grip of uncertainty settling in his stomach. He tried to shake off the feeling as best he could. Emma walked beside him, her hand still clasped in his like a lifeline, but the air between them weighed heavy with questions. "Hey, are you okay?" Emma asked, a hint of worry creeping into her voice as she studied him. "Yeah, just thinking," he replied, forcing a smile that felt hollow. The truth was that his thoughts spiraled towards that message, what she was even with him could mean. The crowd surged around them, laughter echoing against the backdrop of competing carnival music. Children darted past, clutching bags of cotton candy, couples shared kisses amid bursts of laughter. But all he could see was the vibrant glow of fireworks above their heads, reminding him of the passion he feared had suddenly dimmed. He tightened his grip on Emma's hand, knowing that he couldn't let fear strangle them. As they stepped back into the thrumming heart of the fair, he spotted Nathan lingering near the game booths, laughter bubbling from the surrounding group. The sight stirred something dark in Jake, sharp and bitter. An unsettling wave of protectiveness rose within him, coupled with the suspicion that glued him in place. "Stay close, okay?" he murmured, defining their boundaries. "Jake. You're scaring me," she said softly, concern etched into her features. "You don't have to worry about him." "I can't not worry, Emma," he shot back, the heat of his frustration spilling over. "He is just a friend." She interrupted, raising her voice just enough to attract attention. Jake ground his teeth. "Right, but you've been acting so different. You were smiling at him the way I thought was ours. Why are we even talking about him?" Her voice softened, yet trembled with emotion. "Jake, I love you. I thought we just agreed to move forward, to let tonight be ours." She reached for his face, her touch gentle, yet it felt like a jolt of electricity driving home the truth. The vulnerability in her eyes sliced through the confused storm in his own. Suddenly, everything felt painfully clear. "I just want to protect what we have." In that moment, clarity washed over him, and the fire of the crowd faded into background noise. He felt the flicker of hope reigniting within him. "You're right. About everything. I guess I've been holding on to fear instead of love." Emma's eyes brightened, a glimmer of that hopeful glint shining through. "We've built something beautiful, and that's worth fighting for." Just then, another text buzzed insistently from his pocket. That weight crept back in, a bitter reminder of the shadow hanging over their night. He hesitated again, debating whether to ignore it or face it head-on. But he couldn't escape it. "I need to check this," he said, reaching for his phone. "Jake, please don't just trust me," she urged, the hurt tackling the hope as she watched him. He paused, torn. The summer breeze rustled through the air, but it felt more like a tempest inside him. What was he supposed to believe? "I need to see," he said finally, pulling the screen to his gaze. The message held a photo. Nathan's arm around Emma, laughter frozen in a moment that felt like betrayal. Rage bubbled within him, a volcano ready to erupt. "Emma, can you explain this?" he asked, feeling the scars of trust reopening. Her expression fell as she took in the image, her mouth parting slightly. Panic painted her features while a heavy silence crashed around them. "No, Jake. You don't understand," she said, her voice breaking. "Then help me understand." As fireworks cracked overhead, the real fireworks ignited between them a tidal wave of emotions. Was this truly the night of revelations, or merely the beginning of the end? "I'll explain everything, just not here. Please trust me," she pleaded, but as he looked at the flickering lights, Jake realized some shadows are harder to shake than others. Would he continue to trust her or dive deeper into suspicions? As the night unfolded, each choice would lead to a crossroad, and only one path could promise salvation. But as the music pulsed around them, could their love withstand the storm brewing within? Jake felt the air thicken around them, a weight heavier than the colors and sounds swirling at the fair. Emma's pleading eyes bore into him, searching for understanding. But the image on his phone flickered like an old film reel, each frame a raw reminder of the uncertainty that clouded his heart. "Just not here?" Jake echoed, disbelief washing over him like cold water. "Where do you want to tell me about this? On the Ferris wheel? In front of the hot dog stand?" "Jake, please," she whispered, her voice wavering. "We can't talk about this right now." The world around them twisted into a blur. Laughter faded, the vibrant carnival lights dimmed. Each beat of music felt like a taunt, making his heart clash against the throbbing betrayal. How could she still ask for his trust? How could he trust her? "I can't just pretend like that didn't happen," he snapped, feeling heat rise in his chest. Each word felt like a stab, but they were out there now. The truth had become a weapon in their hands. Emma tightened her grip on his hand, her warmth grounding him momentarily. "Jake, you're making this so much worse. Worse than seeing this." He gestured to the screen, the photo glaring back as if it were mocking him. "You're telling me you've been hiding this? Just trust you. Stop," she implored, her voice cracking with emotion as her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. The sight of her pain pierced through Jake's anger. For a moment, he felt the walls he'd built begin to crack. "If you love me," he said, his voice lower now, "then show me. Tell me the truth." Emma took a deep breath, composing herself. Every beat felt significant, every heartbeat a step toward revelation. "Nathan, he has been helping me. I didn't want to worry you. I told him about the pressure I've been feeling at work, and he just wanted to cheer me up. I promise, Jake, there's nothing between us." "Then why the photo?" Each word was weighted with doubt. "It doesn't just seem like a friendly hug. It was just one moment," she insisted, the edge in her voice sharpening. "You know how I can get when I'm stressed. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you to worry." "So, this is your way of avoiding the issue? Smiling with him, pretending everything's fine while I'm what? Cheating on you?" She almost shouted, her frustration matching his. "You think I'd ever risk what we have for that?" The two stood amid the din of the carnival, each heartbeat echoing louder than the laughter and music around them. The moment stretched into an eternity, filled with the weight of emotions that hung between them like smoke in the air. "Then trust me," she pleaded softly, her voice trembling like a fragile leaf in the wind. "Just give me a chance to explain. Please." Jake felt his resolve begin to weaken. The flicker of her hope reached out to him. Could he do this? Could he overcome the demons gnawing at the edges of his trust? The sounds of the fair felt distant, drowned out by the tumult in his heart. Part of him wanted to walk away, to escape this labyrinth of doubt. But another part whispered to stay, to listen, that he wanted to believe her. "Fine," he whispered, hating how fragile his voice sounded. "But if we're going to do this, it has to be real. No more secrets." As they moved toward a quieter corner of the fair, fireworks exploded in the sky above, illuminating the night, but he felt far from the beauty of it all. Would this night be a turning point for them, a chance to rebuild? Or was it merely leading them to an even darker truth hidden in the shadows? And as the final burst of fireworks lit up the sky, he couldn't shake the feeling that the real explosion was yet to come. What secrets lay beneath the surface, waiting to shatter everything they thought they knew? As they stepped away from the vibrant chaos of the fair, the world around them faded into a muted backdrop. The bright, swirling lights transformed into comforting glows, but the real glow came from the tension crackling between them. Jake and Emma found a secluded space under a canopy of trees, draped in shadows, where their voices could carry without the press of the crowd. "Look, Emma hesitated as she searched for the words, her breath hitching in her throat. It was clear this weighed just as heavily on her as it did on him. "I never wanted you to find out like this. I just thought I could handle it without bringing more stress into our lives." Jake tried to calm the storm raging in his chest. "But you chose to hide it. It's not just about the picture, Em. It's about trust. How can we move forward if I can't trust you?" Tears slipped down her cheeks, and for a brief second, his heart softened. He reached out, brushing them away with his thumb. "It's just I thought I could keep it all separate." "But Nathan," he was just trying to help. Her voice trailed off, filled with an ache that Jake felt echo in his own heart. "Help? By taking pictures with you? Holding you like that?" Anger simmered just below the surface, and he could feel his grip on his emotions slipping. "Is that the kind of help you need?" "No," she exclaimed, her voice cracking. "He didn't mean anything by it. We were just friends. I swear." The word swear hit him hard. It wrapped around the pain in his heart, putting pressure on a wound he wasn't sure would ever heal. "Friends? This isn't just friendly behavior, Emma. I know. And I'm sorry. Her voice rose higher, almost pleading. I let it get too far without stepping back. I should have told you. I thought I could keep it contained. But now I feel like a fool, he said, each word biting like ice. A fool for trusting you. Silence enveloped them, thick and suffocating. They stood so close yet felt miles apart. The distant laughter from the fairground felt like a cruel reminder of a once happy moment, a time when confusion hadn't clouded their love. Can we just start over? Emma's voice broke into his thoughts, soft and hesitant. Can we pretend none of this happened? Jake shook his head. We can't pretend anything. That's the problem. There's no going back to innocence. It's too late for that. The flickering lights from nearby stalls cast shadows on Emma's face, giving her an ethereal glow, but he couldn't see a way forward from the chasm that had opened between them. What do you want from me? She asked quietly, taking a step closer. Truth. The word slipped out before he could stop it, raw and unfiltered. He needed honesty to guide them through this murky mess. I need to know everything. Emma nodded, determination hardening her features for the first time since the confrontation began. Okay, she said, and her voice steadied. But if I tell you everything, you have to promise to listen with an open heart. Perhaps a flicker of hope ignited within him at that moment, but Jake was still barricaded by doubt. All right. I'll listen. But you need to be completely honest. As she took a breath, preparing to unveil the shadows of her heart, Jake wondered if he was ready for the truth. Would it bring them closer, or push them further apart? And for the first time, a chilling realization surged through him. Sometimes, the truth isn't as bright as we hope it to be. What had he been blind to all this time? The night felt alive with unshed emotions, and he sensed that whatever came next might either dismantle their fragile bond entirely or build a foundation for something stronger. Emma took a deep breath, her eyes searching Jake's face for any sign of acceptance. She could feel the weight of every second ticking away as she prepared to share the truth. The canopy of leaves above them rustled softly, and the world around them seemed to fade even more. Jake, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. I met Nathan months ago at work. We were just colleagues at first, but things changed when we started working on that project together. Jake crossed his arms, his frown deepening. He leaned slightly against the thick trunk of a tree, as if needing the support of its strength. Changed how? He asked, trying to keep his tone steady despite the storm brewing inside him. She swallowed hard, the truth bitter on her tongue. I was feeling overwhelmed, and Nathan, he listened. He understood how stressed I was. And then one night, we went for drinks after work. Just to unwind, you know. I thought it was just a friendly thing. Wait, Jake interrupted, his heart racing. You went for drinks? Alone? Emma nodded slowly, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Yes, and I shouldn't have. I thought it would help, like a break. But that night, things got out of hand. We ended up kissing. The admission hung in the air like lead, heavy and suffocating. Jake felt the world tilt slightly beneath him. A kiss? Just a kiss. He wanted to believe it was just that, but the dread pooling in his gut told him otherwise. No, it was more than that. Emma's voice trembled. I should have stopped it, but I didn't. I let it happen. We spiraled into a reckless few weeks. I kept thinking about how you were so busy with your own life, and I was afraid of burdening you with my issues. So, I kept it a secret. Her words ignited a storm inside him, a whirlwind of hurt and confusion that churned painfully. And you thought lying to me was better than telling me the truth? I thought it would protect you, protect us. I was wrong, Jake. I know that now. But by the time I realized I was in too deep, I couldn't just pull away. Emma's hands trembled as she spoke, the anguish etched on her face visible even in the dim light. His mind raced. So this was it. Moments of their life together flashed in front of him, memories tainted now by the revelation. He felt anger bubbling up, but beneath that was a deep-rooted sadness. "Do you love him?" The question slipped out, raw and piercing. Emma's response was immediate, but her eyes were heavy with regret as she shook her head. "No. It was never about love. I was confused, lost. You mean everything to me, but I made a terrible mistake." The ache in her voice stirred the edges of his heart. He wanted to believe her, to hold on to the love that fueled their relationship, but doubt gnawed at his insides like a relentless predator. "Everything feels broken," he whispered, not trusting himself to look her in the eyes. "Can we ever piece it back together? Can trust really be rebuilt?" Emma stepped forward, her voice low but steady. "If you let me, I'll fight for us. I will do whatever it takes to show you I can be honest." The uncertainty loomed over them like the dark sky just beyond the treetops. Jake wanted to see the light, to believe in her words, but the shadows danced too close. "Promise me that you'll let me know if Nathan ever reaches out again," he said, the tremor in his voice betraying the chaos inside. "I promise," she replied, the sincerity behind her words evident. Jake closed his eyes, trying to breathe through the swirling confusion. "But how do I know this isn't just empty promises? How do we find our way back?" As he stood there, the fragile thread connecting them feeling weaker than ever, he realized this was just the beginning. Would their love survive this dark night, or were they destined to become strangers? The night stretched on, and the future felt unbearably uncertain. The silence wrapped around them like a thick fog, heavy and oppressive. Jake's heart beat louder than the rustling leaves overhead. He was lost in a haze of emotions, the remnants of love now mingling with betrayal. Emma stepped back, her hands clasped together as if to steady herself. "I want to show you I'm not that person anymore," she said softly. "I want to make things right." "Right?" Jake echoed, the bitterness lacing his tone. "What does that even mean now?" The warmth in his voice had vanished, replaced by a chill that gnawed at his gut. "Jake, please." Emma's eyes glistened with tears. "I know I hurt you. I never meant to. It was a mistake, a moment of weakness. I'm ready to fight for us, but I need you to meet me halfway." He shook his head, fighting the surging tide of emotions. "Halfway? How does that even work? You've broken my trust in a way I didn't think was possible." As he confessed his feelings, he watched her expression change. The guilt was evident, yet there was also resolve and inner strength he had never noticed before. Maybe it was the shock of the moment, but it was there, glimmering in her eyes. "What do you need from me then?" she asked, taking a cautious step forward. "What can I do to show you I'm committed to making things right?" Jake stared into her pleading eyes. He wanted to believe her, wanted to reach for her and pull her close. But instead, he felt like a statue, frozen by doubt. "I don't know," he admitted, his voice raw. "Maybe I just need time," Emma repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. She nodded, her heart cracking under the weight of his words. "I can give you time. I'll wait for however long it takes. Just know I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." He wanted to scream at her, to let the anger pour out in torrents. But instead, he felt a profound sorrow inching its way in. The love they shared felt fragile now, like they were walking on shattered glass. "Time might not be enough," he said, the heaviness sinking in again. In that moment, he realized the stakes were higher than he had anticipated. Disappointment and anger buzzed in the air between them, but there was something deeper too, a yearning for connection, for healing. And yet, he wrestled with a nagging question: how could healing begin without reopening wounds? Just give me a few days," Jake murmured, the words barely escaping his lips. "I need to think." "Of course," Emma replied, her voice steady but laced with sadness. She inhaled deeply, trying to steadfastly embrace the uncertainty. "I'll respect that. We can take this one day at a time." Jake nodded, the ache between them palpable. He wanted to reach out, to hold her hand and reassure her that it would be okay. But could it? He couldn't shake the idea that maybe they were at the beginning of the end. As they stood amidst the shadows of the trees, the echoes of their conversation hung heavy. The night seemed to deepen, reflecting the turmoil in his heart. And for the first time, he thought maybe their love wasn't a fortress but a fragile thread, dangling between hope and despair. Was he strong enough to navigate this twisted path? As they walked away from each other, the chill in the air mirrored the distance growing between them. Jake couldn't help but wonder if they would ever find their way back, or if the scars of betrayal would loom larger than their love. In the silence that followed, the question lingered: would he be able to reclaim the tenderness they once shared, or was it all lost forever? The days passed slowly, their moments dragging out like an endless highway. Each dawn broke with the promise of clarity, but Jake found only confusion waiting on the other side. He went through the motions of his routine, but every small joy felt muted. At the office, his co-workers buzzed around him, throwing their usual jests and banter, but he was a ghost among them. He smiled politely, nodded when necessary, but his mind wouldn't let go of the weight he carried. He kept seeing Emma's face, the way her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, the way her voice trembled when she confessed her willingness to fight. Was it a true fight, or merely words strung together to soothe his pain? With each hour that ticked by, he knew his decision loomed closer. He thought about calling Emma, but fear gripped him. What would he say? The idea of reopening that wound began to feel monumental, like reopening an old scar that never quite healed. That evening, he decided to take a walk to clear his thoughts. As twilight drew close and painted the sky in soft pinks and deep blues, he found himself wandering to their favorite cafe. It had been a spot where they first discovered their love, sharing laughter over lattes and indulging in pastries they both loved. As he walked in, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee hit him, wrapping around him like a familiar embrace. He paused near a table, snapshots of memories whispering in his ears. But tonight, instead of warmth, it felt hollow. It wasn't just the cafe that held memories, it was every corner of the town they explored together. He ordered a coffee, trying to distract himself from spiraling thoughts. But the moment he took a seat, his phone buzzed on the table. It was a message from Emma. His heart raced as he opened it, the screen glowing like a beacon in the dim light. "I understand if you need space, Jake. But know that I'm here. I just miss you." A knot tightened in his chest. Did he miss her? Or did he miss the idea of being together? He typed back slowly, grappling with his emotions. Before he could send it, the cafe door swung open, and he turned to see his friend Mia, laughter spilling from her lips, dragging her purse behind her like a reluctant pet. "Jake! Hey! What are you doing here alone?" She approached, her curiosity evident. "Just thinking." It felt strange to share his turmoil with her, even though she was one of the few who knew about the rift between him and Emma. "Thinking? About Emma?" She probed softly, sensing the tension in his voice that he sighed, dragging a hand through his hair. "Yeah. I don't know what to do. I feel lost." Mia took a seat across from him, her expression steady and understanding. "Look, Jake. It's okay to feel shaky about it. Love isn't easy, and sometimes it feels like walking through a storm without an umbrella." And just like that, the conversation began to unravel. Jake found himself pouring out his heart to her, the uncertainty pouring from his mouth as easily as the coffee he sipped. He spoke of the memories, of the laughter and the pain, wrestling with the idea of whether second chances deserved to be fought for. As Mia listened, nodding and occasionally offering words of comfort, Jake started to see things clearer. There was pain, yes, but there was still hope. It flickered, faint but alive. Maybe, just maybe, he could forge a way back to Emma. As they finished their conversation, something shifted in him. Decision hung heavy, waiting to be made. Was he ready to meet Emma again, open that door, and confront the truth of their love? "Do you think I should talk to her?" he asked Mia, his breath catching just at the thought. The moment felt electric, filled with possibilities and uncertainties. As he awaited her answer, a new question arose: would he have the courage to face what they had become, or would he back away from the precipice of reconciliation? The air was thick with tension as Mia looked Jake in the eye, her expression a blend of encouragement and caution. "You know, Jake," she began slowly, "sometimes it's when we're scared the most that we find clarity. If you really feel something for her, don't let fear hold you back." Jake leaned back in his chair, the weight of her words settling over him like a blanket. In that moment, he felt raw, exposed. It was as if the coffee shop faded away, leaving just him and the storm of emotions raging within him. The laughter and chatter around them blurred into a distant hum. "I can't decide if I'm afraid of what she'll say or what I'll have to say to her," he admitted, vulnerability seeping through his tough exterior. "Maybe it's both. But what if it goes well?" Mia's eyes sparkled slightly, igniting a flicker of hope within him. "You owe it to both of yourselves to at least try. The worst thing you can do is not communicate." Taking a deep breath, Jake nodded, his heart racing. "You're right. I need to call her." As he reached for his phone, doubts flooded his mind. His fingers brushed the screen, hesitating. What if we can't come back from this? What if she's moved on? The spiraling thought made his stomach churn. Maybe she has. But maybe she hasn't. You won't know unless you reach out, Mia replied, her voice steady and firm. Jake stared at the device in his palm, its screen glowing like a lighthouse guiding him home. Gathering his courage, he took a deep breath and pressed Emma's name. The dial tone sounded louder than he remembered, amplifying the heartbeat that now thundered in his ears. "Jake." Her voice came through, a mixture of surprise and something softer that echoed in his chest. "Emma," he replied, finding strength in the way her name felt on his tongue. "I've been thinking about us, about everything. Can we talk?" A slight pause followed, and he imagined her eyes widening in anticipation, perhaps even a flash of hope. "Yes, of course." "When?" "Tonight at our spot." "Okay, I'll be there." The call ended, and he placed the phone down, the gravity of what he just agreed to settling in. His stomach twisted, a combination of nerves and exhilaration coursing through him. "You did it!" Mia exclaimed, chuckling in her usual upbeat manner. "Now you just need to remember to breathe." Jake chuckled too, but the laughter felt more nervous than anything. "Yeah, it's easier said than done." As he finished his coffee and left the cafe, he felt oddly lighter. Invoking the memories tied to Emma wasn't just the anxiety weighing him down, it was the hope that floated just beneath the surface, refusing to let him drown. The sunset played tricks with the colors of the sky as he walked. Each step felt like a leap towards the unknown, and he embraced it, hoping to reclaim what had felt lost. Arriving at the park, the familiar sound of rustling leaves made him smile. It struck him how this place had witnessed both their brightest days and darkest moments. He could already picture their laughter, the comfort of their hands entwined, the simple joy of shared silence. He glanced at his watch, time moving slower now, and tension clung to the air. This was the moment of truth. Would love echo through their conversation, or would the shadows of doubt and hurt prevail? A figure approached in the softly dimming light, and his heart leaped. It was Emma. She looked beautiful, even with the uncertainty knitted in her brow. "Jake," she said softly, her voice trembling slightly. "Hey," he breathed, apprehension mixed with longing. They stood facing each other, the air between them thick with unspoken words. And just as he opened his mouth to speak, something shifted in Emma's expression, as if a new wave of resolve pulsed through her. "Jake, I need to tell you something." Jake's heart pounded. What revelation would she bring? Would it shatter him, or could it be the moment they both needed to find their way back? As the dusk deepened, Jake felt a rush of emotion swell within him. The moment stood still, a pause between breaths, as he took in the sight of Emma. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, a mirror to his own turmoil. They were each other's anchors, caught in a storm of promises and broken trust. Jake, I need to tell you something. The urgency in her voice pulled at his heartstrings, nudging him to embrace the vulnerability of their shared past. Okay, he whispered, almost afraid of the walls he'd built around his heart crumbling. I'm listening. Her breath hitched as she stepped closer, the warmth radiating between them, igniting sparks of forgotten tenderness. I know I hurt you. I know I shattered your trust, and I can't take that back. But I want to make things right. I'm ready to fight for us. His heart raced at her words, but doubt seeped in like an unwelcome shadow. What if it's too late, Em? What if we can't undo what has been done? Emma reached out and grasped his hand, grounding them both. The forever fledgling connection sent jolts of warmth coursing through him. It's never too late if you're willing to explore the truth together. I spent too long hiding from it. I need you to see my heart, not just the mistakes I made. The sincerity in her voice soothed the raging storm inside of him. Her willingness to step forward spurred him to confront the depths of his pain. I need to understand, Jake replied, his own voice thick with unbridled emotion. But it will take me time. I can't promise everything will be how it was. I'm okay with that, Emma said, tears sparkling in her eyes. We have to let this moment reshape us. Trust doesn't come easy after it's been broken, but I'll be here, fighting for you every step of the way. I love you, Jake. In that moment, the weight of all the uncertainty began to lighten. The echo of their love danced around them, coaxing forgotten memories to life. Swift smiles, long talks, and shared dreams resurfaced, bridging the chasm that doubt had carved. I love you too, Emma, he confessed, each word wrapping around his heart like a warm embrace with familiar comfort, but still, fear lingered just below the surface. It's going to take work, isn't it? Can we really rebuild this? A soft smile graced her lips, a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. Yes. We'll take it day by day. Together. Just then, from the distance, a burst of fireworks decorated the night sky, each spark igniting a sense of renewed possibility. The crowd erupted with cheerful shouts, but to Jake, all that noise faded away. It was just the two of them standing together beneath an expansive canopy of stars, a declaration of their rebirth. Let us start anew, he suggested, his heart calming as he wrapped his arms around her. She melted into him, grounding the chaos of the moment. The world spun around them as laughter and joy echoed. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, hope replaced hesitation. As they stood holding on to each other, Jake felt something shift inside him. It was okay to be afraid. The love they shared had tested its strength, bending but not breaking. He finally grasped the profound realization it wasn't about erasing the pain, it was about transforming it into something beautiful. Let us promise each other one thing, Emma said, pulling back slightly to look deep into his eyes. We'll talk, always. No more secrets. Absolutely, Jake nodded, warmth spreading over his heart like sunshine breaking through clouds. No matter how steep the journey ahead, for the first time, he felt ready to embrace it. Jake and Emma walked back toward the fairground, hand in hand, laughter mingling with the crowd as they re-entered the vibrant world anew. They didn't gloss over the journey ahead but embraced it, knowing that each moment would forge their new path, united in love and trust. Let us make this night ours, Jake said, and together they moved forward, illuminated by the fireworks above. And just like that, the echoes of past shadows faded, replaced with the promise of tomorrow, bright and full of life. Make the choice yourself, readers. Embrace the journey of love, trust, and transformation. If their story resonated with you, this is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss out on the next exclusive stories. If you felt the emotions echoed in every word, leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your reactions matter, so comment below with your feelings about the ending. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. True fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.